Hi, my name is Denise Rowett, and I'm an organizer with Bands of Our Body in Fort Worth. I first got started with the group back in May. I attended the protest in May, I believe May 12th or May 14th. The main girl who had got that protest set up for March for Our Lives in Fort Worth, she said mentally that she just needed to step back. She had a lot on her plate. The day the Roe v. Wade got overturned, the Friday, it was a lot. I kind of knew it was coming. I wasn't shocked, but at the same time, it still hit me harder than I expected. I just knew that I needed to get more involved. I needed to stay involved. We decided that we wanted to do more, not just create a voice, but also create kind of a community for everyone to get together. So several of us went and got our VDR. I got mine for Parker, Tarrant, and Dallas. So when we go to these events, we can work on getting people registered to vote. We make a point of trying to meet up every 2 weeks just so we can stay up to date on the issues, so we know what to talk about. So if people say stuff to us, or we're talking to people why it's important to vote, or why these issues are important, that they know, they can see. I mean, there's a lot of people that think it doesn't affect me, it will never affect me. And I feel like this is just kind of a start in a wave of a lot of things. I see a lot of other issues already being talked about by the Supreme Court, and I think people really need to realize how important it is to vote before they lose their rights or loved ones of theirs lose their rights as well. I grew up in a really, really conservative family, super, super conservative. So I even worry about like my nieces and people in my family that don't have a voice that speak for them. It's really important for me that there are people out there that have a voice. Just even going off more, I mean, I see everything going on with the LGBT community, with the Black community, with the Indigenous community, and how it's affecting them, and they're not getting their voices heard. So I just feel like it's really important that people realize if you don't go out and vote, you're not going to be able to make changes. There's just so many girls with so many stories, and not just girls. I mean, there's sons, there's husbands, there's fathers worried about, like, I've seen fathers showing up worrying about their daughters, like, what happens to my daughter? What if my daughter is raped? What is going to happen to my daughter? I mean, Texas doesn't even have any type of exception for rape and incest, and the states that do have those exceptions, they literally have to charge the person. And 1 in 3 or 2 in 3 assaults don't even get reported. They could be stuck having to carry a child. We saw recently on the news a 10-year-old in a state, and the Attorney General even stepped forward and said, if I had anything to say to do with it, I would have charged her for leaving and getting an abortion. She's 10. I mean, these stories, if you just listen, you'll hear them all over the place. And it doesn't affect one person, one color, it doesn't affect just women, it affects everyone. It's a lot. A lot of people also feel like there's just no way to get heard because Texas is right and that's the way it always is and that's the way it's always going to be, even though that's not true. I think they also don't realize that there are a lot of good people in Texas. You just don't hear them because they're not the loudest, and we want people to know that there are a lot of good people, and we're trying to make them louder and make them see that.